Hello and welcome to the final video of our bark shading assignment series. This is A7. We have 3 boxes today, but they are simple. These just fill in the empty spaces that we haven't gotten to yet for our final piece. This middle one is the tip of the whetstone. So we're just going to make this very simple drawing today. And then the top here is the heel, and then this one at the bottom is just some light shading that happens when the skin crinkles in the middle of the foot. And after we have this finished, we're going to be able to cut these up and turn them into the full composition. So that will be really fun after working on this for so many weeks. Okay, we're going to look at the intersection points. We're going to make sure that we get these really nicely in here. Now, it's important to do this accurately for practice, but it's also important to be accurate because we're going to put these together and we want them to match up. So we'll see how well that works. Okay, so I've just been measuring, like, where is everything. I want to constantly have my eyes move back and forth, and I want these to look the same. And I'm not quite sure I've got sameness. I think this one needs to come in a little bit. Okay. And then I'm gonna erase this construction line. I've been really light, so I can just erase lightly and then it's gone. If you are having trouble erasing and your pencil pressure is too heavy, and if you're having trouble with that, lean on your hand instead of your pencil, because your weight has to go somewhere in order to have control. Okay, I don't like how heavy this is. Okay, all I have this little line here. I don't know what that is. It's a very faint mark. I'm gonna put that in here. And then I've got this little bit of shading right here. And this is leading in with something else, so. Another thing that I've been seeing when I'm looking at your work that I thought about this week is sometimes I'll see you do a pretty nice job on the top one, which I try to arrange to be more simple, and then fizzle out on the second one. The second one seems rushed, and I understand time limitation or other types of constraints might make it so that you've spent a lot of time on the first one, and then the second one is you're out of time or whatever it is. But that I have purposely not given you single squares. You need to go through the cycle of doing one of these, and then you're warmed up and you're ready to do the next one. And so I hope that you would take advantage of doing that and just expect to sit down for a while. This is a little bit like exercise. So if you wanted to get in shape and you said, well, you know, I exercise every day, but only for 10 minutes or only for 5 minutes, but I want to be really strong, or whatever your goal is. You might say, well, you're really not doing enough continuous activity to make very much impact. And this is like that. This is a physical activity. It's practice intensive, and there's something about the sustained concentration that you need in order to be able to reach a level beyond where you already are. So I would encourage you to do them, if not both in one sitting, like get up and walk around. If this is a really long time for you to sit and do this all at once, you know, do one, then go do something else for an hour and come back. But I'm not just loading work or trying to make it long and complicated for no reason. I'm trying to give you the opportunity to do sustained concentration, go through the cycle of one drawing, and then take that practice and immediately apply it to another drawing. Okay, so I'm not talking about what I'm doing. I'm trying to come really close to the edge here without going too far. I need a darker pencil. So I'm gonna find a 2B here. There's a 2B. And I want to cover my tracks and change directions. Now, changing directions by itself is not enough. I need to also look as I'm doing this and be sensitive to covering up the previous lines and not making the appearance of new ones. So I've got to build up in layers lightly and watch what I'm doing so that I'm in control. And I'm going to clean up these edges with my pencil. Make sure they're plenty sharp. We've got hard edges here. Big contrast between blank paper and the darkest value. Okay. I'm gonna erase this tip here. I got some construction lines here. Let's see, maybe I want it to be just a little bit darker. We're just gonna hit this one time. This line too dark. All right, and then we're on to the last one, which is this part of the foot. So this one is the most challenging in terms of shading, but still pretty quick. So far, we're at less than 10 minutes into this video, so like I said, this is going to be a quick one, especially if you've been practicing intensively all this time. You are well prepared to do this pretty quickly with a lot of success. Okay, so I want to look at where I want to treat this shading as a shape. I want to think about where do I come in. I think I'm here and here. have this point down here, and I want to be really light in the construction lines that I make because I don't want to have to erase a lot. We've got a little line, a little bit of shading coming down right there. Is that right? No, I'm going to move it over. And again, this is going to match up with something that I don't have in front of me, so I want to be as accurate as I can every time. And I'm using a number 2, but just really no pressure. I'm turning the point of the pencil to keep my pencil sharp. And we're sharpening our pencil so that we have a sharpness in our drawing. And you're developing the ability to see that sharpness. I get a lot of drawing where somebody started with a sharp pencil and then they just kept shading as the pencil got dull. And it seems like, oh, it's filling in and it's imperceptible, but you've just lost the clarity of the drawing by doing that. This is not the only way to draw, but this is the way that I want you to learn to have control. Look back and forth at these. Make sure they seem similar. And then identify places that they could be more similar. This is a very subtle part of the drawing. Very light shading. It's all right, we can handle it. Okay, I'm going a little tiny bit heavy here, but I'm going to go back with an eraser. Ooh. Feather this a little bit with an eraser. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with something a little darker. Thinking 2B is going to be dark enough because I need some depth here. Oh, I'm going to switch to, well, this will be good for this corner. Yeah, I want to feather this out just a little bit. I'm going to use my number 2. And I'm going to work on changing directions. I don't want the thing to feel like it's coming in this direction. So linear shading is when we shade with the form and it shows the form in some way. And I don't want to do that unless I intend to do that, because we can end up with lines that are taking us in directions that we shouldn't really be going. So visually, as part of the composition. Okay, I'm gonna go to a 4B just in this really dark spot. And the pencil is not the same as printer ink, but here we go. Okay, I'm gonna hit this one again. Turning my pencil a little bit to get the last of that sharpness. Okay. I think we're good. I think this is finished and we're ready to cut these up and turn it into a composition. So thanks for being here.